So when you read the question number 1, on May 28, Markel company purchased a tooling machine from a Aaron's and associate for $1 million, payable as follow: 50% at the transactions closing date and 50% due in June 28. So 50% on the transaction date, at the transaction date, and 50% due on June 20th. The cost of machine to Aaron is 800,000. Markel paid 500,000 at the transactions closing date and took possession of the machine. On 10th June, Aaron determined that change in the business environment has created a great deal of uncertainty regarding the collections of the balance due from the Markel. The amount is probably a credit loss. So here on the 10th June, he realized that there is a chances that they may go for a credit loss. Aaron and Marker have a fiscal year end 31st May. So they have a fiscal year ending on 31st May. Now, revenue recognition by Aaron's and associates. So we need to identify for the Aaron what is the revenue he should book in his book. So first of all, the uncertainty they understood by 10th on June, by 10th of June, and the sales was executed in the month of May, and the sales was executed in the month of May. So by that time, when the sales was executed, there was no uncertainty, there was no discount is given. So on that day, the revenue recognition will be 1 million. The revenue recognition will be 1 million, because on the same day, as per the delivery was done, the possession has been given, and the same time the revenue realizable revenue has been recorded, like receivable has been recorded in the same day. So the entry will be AR debit to sales. Now in place of AR you can write Markel company. Oh, Markel company. So Markel company debit to sales, and sales will be how much? 1 million. So the correct answer is C. Now coming to the question number 2, revenue recognition. Question number 2, a company offer monthly plan treatments provision of for 50. So there is a monthly plan for $50 or 540 or 540 if paid annually. So the company is giving two options. Option number 1, that person can buy a monthly plan or a annually plan. In advance, he how should the revenue be recognized for customer who paid annually? The one who paid annually, in that case, how the revenue has to be recognized? Then in this case, the revenue recognition, the 5 stage principle was there. So once you apply the 5 stage principle, they say that uh, as soon as you perform, you done your performance obligations, then you recognize your revenue. So he's saying at the end of fiscal year, no, this is not right. When the cash is collected, for sure, no. At the end of contract year, no. So evenly over the years the service are performed. So the correct answer is B. Evenly over the year as the service are performed. Now coming to the question number 3, revenue recognition. ABC company provide a catering service and bill customer after the event. So they provide the service, and then once the service is completed, they do the billing. When should the revenue will be recognized? When should the revenue is recognize. First, launchion is served. The customer payment is received. This is the second event. The third, billing is made. No, this is again one of the event. The customer place an order. No. When the launchion is served. Okay. Revenue recognized when the service is provided or performance obligation is satisfied. This is the explanation for this answer. This is the explanation for this answer. So the correct answer is A. Now coming to the question number 4. Revenue recognition. When should an airline recognize revenue from ticket sale? So when should the airline company should recognize the revenue? The answer is when the related flight takes place, because until the flight takes place the buyer of ticket reserves the right for the cancellations and refund. When the ticket is issued, no. Passenger reservations are booked, no. When the passenger reservation are confirmed, no. Because until the last moment, until the flight takes place, the customer has the option to go and ask for the refund. So they have to recognize the revenue when they have already flight has takes place. It means the flight has taken away, take off. Revenue recognition. Now, what is a conditional contract asset? When you say the conditional contract asset, so it means that you have done the partial performance obligations of your duties, or you have just performed the one or more of the performance obligations of the contract. So the right to receive consideration when more performance are still due. So it is a conditional. It means that you have done one or more from the overall terms or the covenant of the transaction. Now coming to the question number 6. So question number 6 there, Gorham Publishing received 90,000 for 3-year subscription starting April 1. What adjusting entry should be made on 31st December? So when he received April, so it means that in the first year he received the revenue only for 9 months, so in that case the calculation will be 90,000 is for 3 years. It means for per year 30,000. So this 30,000 has to be divided by 12 multiplied by 9. So 3 4 0 0 1 22. So the correct answer will be 22 5,000. So the correct answer will be 22 5,000. So debit current liability. So in this case, when the cash was received, so it is like cash debit to contract liability or advance from customer. How much? 90,000. Now, as soon as the year is completed, so he will say that contract liability debit to sales revenue 22,500, 22,500. Now coming to the question number 7. Recording customer payments before the performance obligation is satisfied applies which principle? So here the question is asking, if you receive the service, if you receive the money before performance obligation, it means that it is a advance sort of advance. And which principle says that you can only recognize the revenue once you are performing your performance, once you satisfy your performance obligation. So the main reason of this is to recognize as a revenue or the advance from customer. The revenue recognition advise that. Now, as per AS 606 permit revenue recognition. So once the performance obligation is satisfied and the collection is probable. If the collection is not probable, then you have to make the provision of losses. Now, IER Corporation had the following year-end sale. At the year-end sale, first, what he did, 40,000 shipped on 20 and that received 31st. Okay, so what is happened here? He has sell or he shipped, but it is received by 31st of December. Now, shipped 75,000 and received January 3rd. 5,000 sold and shipped on January 1 and 10,000 consignment, 65,000 store in store sale 60 by 31st December in store sale. So how much should be recognized as a revenue for this year? So we need to know that how we will calculate. So first of all, in house sale, it means here performance obligation is satisfied. It means delivery is done over the counter. So this is a sale. This is a revenue. So he will recognize the revenue for this. Now he has to recognize the revenue for shipped and received. It means that we assume that the ones he received, it means he has a acknowledgement for receiving of goods. So it is sent and delivered. So 40,000. Here it is still in the way, it will be considered as a stock in transit. It will be considered as a stock in transit. This is also, it will be considered as a stock in transit, because the question is not clear whether it's a FOB sale, whether it is a FOB sale or delivery at destination. So we will assume that all the sale is done based on the delivery. Once the delivery is confirmed by the recipient, that time only we will record the revenue. The third is also considered to be the inventory, consignment inventory, the inventory with consignee. So if you add these two, 40,000 plus 65,000, your answer will be 105,000. So I will just make a quick answering for the whole. So how you are going to understand the question number 1? क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 का सी आंसर है 1,000,000, क्योंकि वो सेल जो है ना आपने कब कर लिए थे, वो हमने मई 28 मई को कर दिया था, ईयर एंड से पहले कंप्लीट कर दिया था। उसके बाद जब कंडीशन चेंज होता है तो उसका रेवेन्यू पे इंपैक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, तो उसके लिए 1,000,000 का सेल कंसीडर कर लिया जाएगा। दूसरे वाले सिचुएशंस में क्या हुआ था कि उसके पास दो ऑप्शन था, या तो मंथली बिलिंग कर ले या फिर एनुअली बिल कर ले। तो यहाँ पर जो हम लोग रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइज करेंगे इवनली ओवर द पीरियड करेंगे, इसके लिए हमारा आंसर आएगा बी। तीसरा था जब हम कैटरिंग सर्विस करते हैं, बिल कस्टमर को तभी देते हैं जब कोई ऑलरेडी हमारा जो कैटरिंग सर्विस जो होता है जब हम परफॉर्म कर लेते हैं, जब हमारा इवेंट कंप्लीट हो जाता है तभी हम बिलिंग करते हैं। तो इस सिचुएशंस में हमारा जो परफॉर्मेंस ऑब्लिगेशन तभी होगा जब लॉन्चन इज सर्व्ड, जब हमने दे दिया उसके, लॉन्चन एक तरह का स्वीट्स है, जब उसे दे दिया उसके बाद ही हम अपनी रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइज करेंगे। रेवेन्यू उसके बाद जो है एयरलाइन कंपनी कब करेगी, जब बंदा उसके ऊपर सवार हो जाएगा और एयर टेक ऑफ कर लेगा तभी, नहीं तब तक, जब तक वो एयरलाइन में ये नहीं होता, जब तक वो चेक इन नहीं होता तब तक उसके पास रिफंड के ऑप्शंस होते हैं। उसके बाद कंट्रेक्चुअल एसेट्स में हमारे पास क्या होता है कि हमने बहुत सारे ऑब्लिगेशंस है जिसमें से हमने पार्शियल ऑब्लिगेशंस परफॉर्म कर लिया, अभी बाकी बाकी जो है पार्शियल हमको बाद में करना है, तो आंसर यहाँ पे बी बन जाएगा। उसके बाद लास्ट उसके बाद आया था एक पब्लिशिंग कंपनी है, उसमें 3 साल तक का सब्सक्रिप्शन उसने एडवांस पे ले लिया, तो सबसे पहले 90,000 रुपया को 3 साल में बांट देंगे तो 30,000 आएगा, और उसके 30,000 भी है पूरे 1 साल के, लेकिन यहाँ पे 9 महीने का टर्म्स है तो 9 महीने के लिए 22,500 का रेवेन्यू वो लाइबिलिटी को डेबिट करके रेवेन्यू को रिकॉग्नाइज कर लेगा। उसके बाद बोलता है रिकॉर्डिंग द कस्टमर प्रेजेंट बिफोर द परफॉर्मेंस ऑब्लिगेशन सेटिस्फाइड अप्लाई इन द प्रिंसिपल। इसका मतलब ये हो रहा है कि हमको जो पहले पैसा मिल गया हम उसको रेवेन्यू कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे। ये बात कौन प्रिंसिपल डिसाइड करता है, ये रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्निशन का प्रिंसिपल डिसाइड करता है कि हाँ भाई हम तभी रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइज करेंगे जब वो 5 प्रिंसिपल क्राइटेरिया को हम फुलफिल कर लेंगे, यानी कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होने चाहिए, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ऑब्लिगेशन जो होने चाहिए क्लियर होना चाहिए, किसको क्या क्या ऑब्लिगेशंस परफॉर्म करना है। उसके बाद है कि ASC 606 हमको क्या बोलता है, तो बोलता है कि जब हमारा परफॉर्मेंस ऑब्लिगेशन सेटिस्फाई हो और हमारा जो रिसीवेबल हो वो प्रोबेबल हो, यानी कलेक्शन हमारा प्रोबेबल हो। और लास्ट वाला था थोड़ी सी न्यूमेरिकल्स थी जिसमें 3-4 सिचुएशंस है। पहला वो कि हमने 40,000 का माल शिप कर दिया है, अभी तक डिलीवरी जो है 31 से पहले हो गया और हमारी ईयर एंड है 31, तो हमका मतलब ये है कि हमने अपना गुड्स को डिलीवर कर दिया है विद इन द टाइम, तो हम उसको अब रिकॉग्नाइज कर सकते हैं एज अ रेवेन्यू। दूसरा सिचुएशन है जब हमने शिप तो कर दिया पर अभी भी वो रिसीव नहीं हुआ, रिसीव हुआ ईयर एंड के बाद, इसका मतलब है कि अभी भी वो स्टॉक इन ट्रांजिट है और हमारे पास क्वेश्चंस में ये क्लियर नहीं है कि एफओबी सेल है या फिर डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड सेल है, तो हम एज्यूम करेंगे कि ये डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड है। जब तक कि सामने वाला एक्नॉलेज ना कर ले, रिसीव ना कर ले, तब तक हम उसको सेल कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे। और तीसरा सिचुएशन था कि हमने सेल किया पर अभी शिप हमने जनवरी में जाके किया है, इसका मतलब है कि अभी भी वो हमारे इन्वेंटरी में इंक्लूड रहेगा। चौथा है 10,000 कंसाइनी के पास है तो वो हमारा कंसाइनी स्टॉक है, जब तक कि वो बिक ना जाए तब तक हम उसको रेवेन्यू कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे। और 65,000 ऑलरेडी हमने इन हाउस सेल किया, इसका मतलब है कि हम सेल करते गए और डिलीवरी देते गए, इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि हाँ वो हमारे लिए रेवेन्यू बन गया। तो यहाँ पर सिर्फ 2 ही पॉइंट आपको ऐड करना है, पहला 40,000, दूसरा 65,000, सो 105,000 यहाँ का आंसर होगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच। अगर किसी को समझने में कोई भी दिक्कत रहा हो तो काइंडली आप मुझे बताइएगा, आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू।